Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's strength class. Here is our fitness waiver for this week and for this month of February. Again, True Mania starts today. So if you participate, again, you'll be eligible, I believe, to win a Fitbit. At the very end of the class, I'll go to stop the recording and then I will go ahead and share a poll, which you will answer, and that will give you some points that will enter you into the raffle to win a prize at the very end of the program. All right. So if you want some more information, go ahead and add yourself to that Slack thread. Here is our hit for your heart. Again, join this HIIT Cardio Crunch Monday mornings. Again, all those different times posted right there for you. You could all go and win a gift card, as this is a Heart Healthy month of February. Lastly, we have nutrition swaps. So again, that's this past Thursday. So hopefully you were able to join and watch the webinar with Shannon and Jenny. So again, if you have any information, if you have any more questions, feel free to send us a message. I will go ahead and stop sharing now. All right, everyone. I'll go and spotlight myself. My team is having a little bit of difficulties, but you will need a pair of light to moderate dumbbells and or a light to moderate kettlebell, okay? A pair of light to moderate dumbbells and a pair of light and a light to moderate kettlebell. I'll go ahead and try again. Looks like it worked. Okay, so again, you'll need a pair of light to moderate dumbbells and or kettlebell. I will go ahead. We'll go start moving. All right, let's go and start doing some lateral arm swings. Get a little bit of warmth to our upper body. We'll be doing a little bit of pressing today. That's going to be most of our upper body. Everything else will be mostly bending and then some core work. So just one hand over the other. Let's go ahead and go alternating. We're going to go vertical now, vertical arm swings. Same thing, alternating every arm as we are doing some pressing today. Let's go and do some arm circles forward. Go ahead and go backwards. Let's go to work here on our neck as well. So we're just going to go ahead and get into lateral flexion, trying to bring our earlobes to our shoulder. Yeah, nice and easy. Don't go fast. Let's go and round our shoulders backwards now. Do about 10 shoulder rounds. Then it's going to go forward now, same thing. About 10 repetitions. Right, let's go ahead and have our hands here on our hips. We're going to push our hips back. Then we're going to go and stand up. Just get a little bit of blood flow here as we are doing some bending to kind of get some warmth here in our back. And just focusing on driving and pushing our hips back. Just going to round our shoulders now. Go to reach down. Move our hips side to side. And go and stand up. All right, so we have 5 different movements today. We're going to go ahead and do one movement for some allocation of repetitions. So we're going to do about 10 to 15 repetitions. For the very first movement, that'll be a Russian kettlebell swing. Then we have 4 different movements. So we're going to go to work for 40 seconds, rest for 20. All right, so we are going to need a kettlebell. So if you have a kettlebell, please grab that kettlebell. Kettlebell, you're going to go and initiate the swing. Stand about a foot behind the kettlebell. We're going to grab the kettlebell by the handle. So we're going to reach down, have a nice good bend here in our hips. Go ahead and load your hamstrings. You should feel some tension here in our glutes and our posterior hamstrings. We're going to reach down and grab the kettlebell by the handle. From this position, we're going to put it on the side. All right. After that, we're going to hike into our glutes, and then we're going to go and stand up. We're going to go push, stand up, push, stand up, push. and then we're gonna bring the kettlebell down, okay? So again, if you have a, just be mindful of your back. If you don't feel comfortable utilizing kettlebell, you can go ahead and use a dumbbell, and you can go ahead and just do a basic RDL if you like, with one or two dumbbells, whatever works for you. But we're going to go to our eyes, okay? Remember, this is a bending exercise, not a squat exercise, so make sure that you push your hips back and do not squat down. We're going to do anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. After we finish that movement, we're going to do a hang clean and a press. So we're going to utilize our dumbbells here. We're going to go ahead and curl the dumbbells up towards our shoulders, and then we're going to go to press, back to our shoulders, and then back to our sides. If you have some heavier dumbbells, you can go ahead and push your hips back and kind of make it more of a hang, clean, and jerk. If you like, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can just focus again on the strict portion of the pattern. Next one, we have a crush grip crossbody bend. So we're going to have our feet directly underneath our hips. We're going to reach and just basically alternating every rep, pushing the dumbbell towards the very lateral part of our foot. Again, kind of rounding our back, as this is predominantly a low back exercise. And then lastly, we have a 40-second march on the right and then 40-second march on the left in the front rack position. So you'll take your kettlebell, put it here in the front rack, and all we're doing here is we're going to go ahead and march on your right side. And the left side, if you don't feel like utilizing the kettlebell, you can go ahead and just kind of hold the dumbbell and do that. Or if you want to hold it in the goblet version, you totally can, except we're going to do that for a long period of time if you're utilizing the dumbbell, okay? So go ahead and grab your kettlebell if you have one. If not, we're going to go ahead and grab the dumbbell. I'm going to put the clock on, and then we are going to work. So whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and grab that kettlebell or the dumbbell. Clock is on. Let's go ahead and start working now. All right, 10 to 15 repetitions of your kettlebell swing or your RDL. I'll go ahead and do the RDL first. And then on the kettlebell, I'll go and do that next rep. Again, anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. Once you finish, go ahead and rest. And I'll let you know when we can start the next movement. Again, as you're performing this movement, just make sure that you're bringing some awareness to your breath, breathing in as you go down, and then breathing out as you exhale. We're going to go ahead and go to the hang clean press in about 5 seconds. So go ahead and grab those dumbbells. We're going to go and work in 2, 1, 40 seconds. Have your feet directly or just beneath your hips. Take the dumbbells from to your shoulders, press back to your shoulders, and then back down toward your sides. Again, if you just want to focus on the strict version, you can go ahead again, just kind of do what I'm doing. And just basically curling and pressing. Or if you want to have a little bit of heavier dumbbells, and you want to utilize your hips, you can totally utilize your hips. As the dumbbells are coming back from your shoulders down toward your hip, push your hips back, bring them to your shoulders, and then you're going to go ahead and press to make it a little bit more dynamic. All right, let's go ahead and rest now. Next movement is we have that crush grip crossbody. So go ahead and put your dumbbells down. We have one dumbbell here. If you want to utilize your kettlebell, you totally can. 3, 2, 1. Feet underneath your hips. We're going to push our hips back. And focus again on rounding our shoulders, as we want this to be predominantly a low back exercise. And you should feel a stretch on that foot that you're leaning towards, the very back of your foot and your low back. Again, it should not be heavy. We're just getting some range of motion here and just basically working on our mobility with a slight load in the very front of our. Get about 3 seconds. Go to finish up one more rep, and then we're going to go ahead and rest. All right, we're going to go and move on to the march. Again, you can hold a dumbbell if you're not comfortable holding the kettlebell, or you can go ahead and hold that kettlebell in the very front rack. Totally up to you. Starting with our right first. So go ahead and grab your kettlebell, or go ahead and grab your dumbbell. Put that kettlebell here in the front rack. Let's go ahead and march for about 40 seconds. Again, just really focusing on our midline, our core, and just basically bringing our knees up to our belly. Again, pretty simple exercise. Just basically holding that weight here in the very front, supporting it with our forearm, and a little bit of our bicep and tricep. About 3 seconds, 2, 1. All right, go and rest. Get about 20 seconds to rest now, and then we will going to go ahead and do the same thing on the left side. Again, the kettlebell can be a little bit uncomfortable. If you're not used to it, you can go to practice on your own. Or if you feel good, just make sure the kettlebell or the belly of the kettlebell is on your bulk of your arm. All right, same thing. Left hand. Let's go ahead and march. And just a reminder, as you're performing these exercises, make sure that you're not holding your breath. Bring some awareness to some spatial awareness. Breathing in through your nose, out of your mouth. You got about 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Rest. Nice job, friends. All right, we're going to rest for another 20 seconds. And then we're going to go back up to the top to perform the Russian swing. Go ahead and grab yourself a sip of water if you'd like for another interval. All right. Whenever you're ready, starting our second interval, we're going to stand behind the kettlebell if you're utilizing the kettlebell. If not, go and use your dumbbell and just perform those RDLs. Again, 10 to 15 reps, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Go to put on the side, peg it to your glutes, and go ahead and stand up. You can have your elbows slightly bent, or they can be fully locked out. Again, this is predominantly a hip bending movement, as we are just getting into hip extension. If you feel pretty comfortable, you can go and just do some one-arm kettlebell swings if you like. Totally up to you. Once you finish your 10 to 15 reps, let's go ahead and rest. Get about 20 seconds to rest, and then we can go and get to the hang, clean, and press, or strict curl and press. Those same exercises. Go ahead and grab your dumbbells now. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go and take those dumbbells up here toward your shoulders, holding them in the neutral grip position, and then go ahead and press. Don't do any twisting. Just really focus again on keeping them in neutral. That way you can also work on your forearms. Remember, as you're pressing, try your best to focus on getting full range of motion by having your earlobe slightly past your biceps if you have the mobility to do that. And then locking on your elbows every repetition. Go ahead and rest now. That's a 20-second break. The next movement, we're going to go and get to that crush grip crossbody. Again, if you have that kettlebell, you can get a little bit more range of motion because the weight will take you a little farther down. Go ahead and grab that dumbbell. If you don't have that kettlebell, you don't feel comfortable utilizing it. Again, feet underneath your hips. Go ahead and push your hips back. Just take that dumbbell, put it towards the lateral side of your foot. If you have really good mobility, you can also stand on something. Standing on something will create a little bit more height for you, which will then give you a little bit more range of motion to get closer to the ground. If you have the mobility, go ahead and rest now. Get about 15 seconds to rest. Again, you can elevate yourself. That way you're a little bit higher up off the floor. And that way you can take that kettlebell or dumbbell a little farther to the ground to give you a little bit more range of motion. All right, go ahead and grab your dumbbell, grab your kettlebell. We're going to perform the march now, right in the very front rack position. Take your dumbbell or your kettlebell. Again, just focusing on marching up and down. Again, landing in the very middle of our foot. A lot of benefits to the march, especially if you have something pretty heavy, holding something pretty heavy, which, it's a stabilization exercise while also getting your heart rate up a little bit just because you are moving in the dynamic kind of way. Also bringing some body awareness. Go to rest, or what's called proprioception. We have about 15 seconds to rest. We're going to move on to the left side. See where we're at time-wise. We got about 4 minutes. All right, left side now. Let's go ahead and work. Another 15 seconds. And try and get your knees up towards your belly as high as you can. 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and rest. We're going to just do a couple more movements as we won't have enough time to get to the very top and then go ahead and finish that out. I'm going to go and give you a little bit of rest. But the next one, we're just going to go and do a couple of calf raises. We're going to alternate between going all the way up to our toes and then shifting our weight back towards our heels. We're going to go ahead and hold either a kettlebell or a pair of dumbbells. Get some plantar flexion in. All right, so pretty simple. Have your feet directly underneath your hips. Go ahead and bring your weight all the way up on your toes, and then you just want to shift your body weight towards your heels. With your toes will come up towards the sky. Then go and raise. Pretty simple. And keep working. Try your best to get as high as you can on those toes. I get a little bit of slight tendonitis on my left foot, especially when it's cold. It kind of hurts. I did some calf raises this morning though. All right, go and rest. Shake it off if you'd like to. We got one more exercise. Let's go and just isolate our biceps. Go and do some curls. This will be our last exercise. Let's go and do about 30 reps total. 15 on your right, 15 on your left. Again, as you're curling the weight, hit the 90 degrees first, and then go ahead and start rotating your pinky up toward that shoulder. You could even slightly lean toward that side. I'll do that sometimes so I can kind of feel a little bit more of my bicep. Once you get to 30, you can go ahead and rest, and that'll be the end of our strength class. All right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now, and then I'm going to launch this poll.